The toast that broke me. I never imagined that saving my father's life would make me invisible. 9 weeks earlier, I had been lying in a hospital bed, weak, in pain, trying to recover after donating my kidney to my dad. The surgery wasn't easy. The recovery wasn't easy. And the fear leading up to it? Even worse. But I never hesitated, because he was my father. When doctors said I was the best match, I immediately agreed. I thought family would remember that. I was wrong. 9 weeks later, our family gathered for a celebration dinner. 22 relatives filled the room. Everyone was laughing. Everyone was smiling. Dad looked healthier than he had in years. I sat quietly at the end of the table, happy to see him alive. Then Mom stood up. She tapped her glass with a spoon. The room fell silent. She raised her wine glass and smiled. "Tonight," she said, "we celebrate the person who saved your father's life." My heart warmed. For a second. Then she turned toward my sister, Ashley. To Ashley, who organized the fundraiser and made all of this possible. The room exploded with applause. Glasses clinked. People cheered. Ashley stood and waved like a celebrity. And nobody looked at me. Not one person. The forgotten daughter. I felt my stomach twist. Maybe Mom would mention me next. Maybe she simply forgot. But the seconds passed. Then minutes. Nothing. People crowded around Ashley. They praised her. They thanked her. They called her selfless. Meanwhile, I sat there quietly, feeling smaller with every compliment she received. Ashley loved attention. Always had. Growing up, she could do no wrong. If she got a B in school, she was celebrated. If I got straight A's, it was expected. If she cleaned her room once, she was responsible. If I cleaned a whole house, nobody noticed. I learned early that Ashley was the star, and I was the background. Still, I never thought things would go this far. I literally gave away a part of my body, and somehow I was still invisible. I looked at Dad. He wasn't clapping. He wasn't smiling. Instead, he looked uncomfortable, almost troubled. His eyes kept moving between Ashley and me, like he wanted to say something, but couldn't. That's when I knew something wasn't right. And I had no idea that an even bigger secret was about to come out. The fundraiser nobody talks about. A year before the surgery, Dad's condition became serious. Medical bills started piling up. That's when Ashley announced she would organize an online fundraiser. Everyone praised her immediately. Family members shared the page. Friends donated. Within weeks, thousands of dollars came in. Ashley posted updates constantly. Photos, videos, emotional messages. She became the face of Dad's recovery. But there was one problem. The fundraiser money barely helped. Because most of Dad's treatment was covered through insurance and hospital assistance programs. I knew that because I handled the paperwork. Not Ashley. Me. Yet every time I tried to explain, nobody listened. Ashley controlled the story. And people believed what they saw online. She wasn't saving Dad. She was building her image. I never exposed her. Because I didn't want family drama. I just wanted Dad to get better. So I stayed silent. Until that dinner. And until Dad finally decided he couldn't stay silent anymore. The napkin. I stood up from my chair. I was ready to leave. I couldn't sit there another minute. Then suddenly, Dad reached out. His hand grabbed my wrist. The room went quiet. I looked down. His eyes were filled with tears. Then he slowly slid a folded napkin across the table. I unfolded it. 5 words were written inside. "Please don't leave yet." I stared at him, confused. Then he whispered something. "Trust me." For the next 20 minutes, I sat there pretending everything was fine. Meanwhile, Ashley continued soaking up attention. She gave speeches, accepted compliments, acted like a hero. But Dad remained silent, watching, waiting. And then came the moment that changed everything. The room immediately quieted. Everyone expected another toast. Instead, he cleared his throat. "I need everyone's attention." The atmosphere changed instantly. Dad pulled a folder from beside his chair. Then he looked directly at Ashley. Her smile disappeared. "I received a report yesterday." Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Dad opened the folder. I've spent months trying to understand certain financial records. Ashley looked nervous. Very nervous. Dad continued. This report explains where fundraiser money actually went. The room froze. My heart started racing. Ashley suddenly interrupted. Dad, this isn't the time. But Dad ignored her. He kept reading. And every word made the room quieter. The truth comes out. The investigation showed something shocking. Thousands of dollars from the fundraiser had never reached Dad's medical expenses. Instead, large portions had been used for personal purchases, vacations, luxury shopping, designer items. Ashley turned pale. Family members stared at her. Nobody knew what to say. The woman they had been celebrating all night wasn't the hero they believed she was. Dad wasn't angry. He looked heartbroken. That somehow made it worse. Then he said something nobody expected. The real person who saved my life is sitting right there. He pointed toward me. The entire room turned. For the first time all night, every eye was on me. I wanted to disappear, but Dad kept talking. And this time, nobody interrupted. The recognition. Dad described everything. The appointments, the testing, the surgery, the recovery, the pain, the sacrifices. Things most relatives never knew. Things Ashley never experienced. Then Dad looked directly at me. I am alive because of her. His voice cracked. So, if anyone deserves thanks tonight, it's my daughter. I couldn't stop the tears. For years, I had accepted being overlooked. But hearing those words from Dad meant everything. Around the room, relatives looked ashamed. Some couldn't even make eye contact. Others came over and apologized. Not because I demanded it, because the truth was finally impossible to ignore. And Ashley? She sat silently. The applause she enjoyed earlier was gone, replaced by uncomfortable silence. 8. What happened next? The weeks after that dinner changed everything. Several family members distanced themselves from Ashley. Trust had been broken, and rebuilding trust takes time. Dad focused on healing, not just physically, emotionally too. As for me, I stopped chasing approval. That dinner taught me something important. You can't force people to appreciate you. You can't control who gets attention. But eventually, the truth has a way of finding daylight. Sometimes it takes months, sometimes years, but it arrives. And when it does, it speaks louder than any lie. Final lesson. Looking back, the biggest victory wasn't exposing Ashley. It wasn't watching relatives apologize. It wasn't even hearing Dad defend me. The biggest victory was realizing my worth never depended on their recognition. I donated my kidney because it was the right thing to do, not because I wanted applause, not because I wanted praise, and certainly not because I wanted attention. The truth is simple. People can steal credit. They can spread lies. They can rewrite stories. But they cannot change reality. And reality was this. A daughter gave part of herself to save her father. And in the end, the truth finally found its voice. Sometimes justice doesn't arrive immediately, but when it does, it leaves everyone speechless. The end.